Hey there everybody, my name's Adam Box, and I'm here with my thoughts on what I think Star Wars Battlefront got right and what it got wrong, at least in terms of the beta, and that will play an important role going into your purchase or my purchase decision for the final game. Things that it got right. Actually, yeah, things that it got right. We'll start with that. It really captured the overall Star Wars essence and feeling very, very well, and that's something totally abstract and totally arbitrary in terms of what you decide makes up the Star Wars feel or Star Wars essence, which is partially why I figured they'd get it wrong. There's no real specific thing I can point to and say, that's what makes it a Star Wars game. And so that's why I thought they'd screw it up. To me, there's not a direct list of things you can point to and say, hey, you need X, Y, and Z in order to make a good Star Wars game. It just feels right, which is really, really good. The 20 versus 20 AT-AT Walker game mode is a lot of fun. It is completely stacked against the Rebels, especially if the Rebels are not a team that's actually working together, but it is a fun game mode overall. The gunplay is actually fairly fun. I really hope they add, and I'll touch on this in the wrong thing, I really hope they add more guns going into the full version, or at least more something. If this is all there is towards unlocks, then it's going to be a very shallow game like Titanfall. But overall, the gunplay is very, very fun, and to me it's very easy and intuitive, which is why I like it so much. I can't say it's that way for everybody because there's a lot of really bad KDs throughout this game, but the recoil patterns, the way the recoil works, the way leading shots works, all of that feels really intuitive to me, and so I can control it very well and do very well in terms of gunplay, and that makes me happy. The spaceship combat is pretty cool. There's some negatives to that as well, and the overall just general environment and feeling of playing a shooter with all the spaceships running around and the walkers and stuff is pretty cool. Things that got wrong. Well, the 8v8 game mode is pretty much impossible to win, again, if your team is not actually playing the objective. They don't have to be coordinated, they just have to be playing the objective. Pretty much every 8v8, it's drop zone. Every 8v8 match that I've played, I've pretty much topped the leaderboard in terms of KD, but I'm the only one playing the objective, and so we lose. And towards the end of the beta, it got to the point where everybody was just quitting out randomly, and so we'd start out winning like 3-0, and then literally I had a match. What was really weird was I had a match where I had a PlayStation Network friend who I did not party up with, but there were so few people playing. I'm playing on the PlayStation 4, keep that in mind, but whatever. There were so few people playing that I ended up getting matched against him, but my entire team dropped out, so for about half the game, we started out 3-0, we ended up losing 3-4 because my entire team dropped out, and I'm sorry, but I can't possibly be that good enough to take on an entire team by myself in an objective game mode. So that got extremely frustrating towards the end and isn't something I can continue to play unless I'm going to have people to play with because it's just unenjoyable without people. The DF9 stationary sentry turret building thing is really overpowered feeling. It doesn't feel entirely that way when you're using it unless you get a lot of people who don't move because there is a bit of a cooldown. But you can shoot completely across the map, and it feels really overpowered. The ships, they can be not fun at the same time. The Y-Wing, no, the TIE Fighter. I always get all of these confused. The TIE Fighter, it moves way too fast to really feel like you can do anything. And for me, who always has sucked at air combat in Battlefield games, I can't do anything with the ships other than crash kamikaze them into the ATSTs. And again, as I mentioned before, the 20 versus 20 Walker game mode is completely stacked against the Rebels unless you have really good teamwork, because it takes everybody concentrating fire on the Walkers when they're exposed and trying to push those objectives, and it really sucks when your team does. I mean, there is no point once you get to about like the third or halfway point. If you all haven't been focusing on the walkers and actually taking them down, then there's no point in playing the objective anymore, and it just turns into a really long-winded team deathmatch that you're already going to lose. Kind of pointless. But overall, the game mode is a lot of fun though, and it's really cool to see that it's 20v20, But instead of being just chaotic, people running around everywhere, everyone breaks up into their own squads and goes in different directions just kind of naturally, and it's really cool. Unlocks. There's nowhere near enough gun unlocks, and obviously this is a beta, and ideally, obviously, there's going to be a lot more in the core game. We have no way of knowing that till the core game comes out, because unlike everything else, like for game modes and stuff like that, they had specific things where it's like not available in beta. For guns, that's all there was. Now I can't say I know of any other guns that should be in the game, but if it only takes you like the 4 or 5 hours I've put into the game to unlock everything, it's going to die pretty quickly, just like Titanfall. That was one of the big things everyone points out about Titanfall having missed out on, was not having enough unlocks, so that bothers me. And overall, I'm worried for this game's longevity on the whole. The Star Wars theme to it really feels really good, and the gunplay is fun, so as long as I have people to play with, I'll play for a long time, especially since I'm pretty good at it so far. But I don't know how long it'll last with the general public, because I'll still go play Titanfall myself, but it doesn't have a huge population player base, so I'm worried about that a little bit. The survivor mode. I only played it once on normal, the co-op survival mode. I'm going to play it again hopefully today or at some point. The beta ends tomorrow, so maybe I'll play it today on hard. But on normal, it's completely pointless to play. There's not even a hint of a challenge. And while obviously normal shouldn't be hard, normal shouldn't be pointless. And at the moment, normal is pointless. So I hope the other modes are better, but that was supposed to be our preview into what they have coming, and it was awful. So it was just a complete waste of time. So I hope they do better with that. But overall, I'm actually pretty impressed with Battlefront. I started out just not really liking it because I didn't play with friends, and I only played the drop zone, which, like I said, was a mess when people leave, just keep leaving, and not enough people play. But playing with friends and playing the bigger objective game mode, and I'm excited to see what the other game modes are like, it's a lot of fun, and I think I'll be picking it up. So just wanted to share my thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Come subscribe to our other channels if you haven't already. Tech review channel, vlog channel, etc. And I'll see you in the next video.